Hey everyone, it's Rob here, and we're back with yet another video on the Average at Best YouTube channel. Josh couldn't be here today, but we're still going to make sure we cover this really incredible news that came out last week, that Belmo did in fact receive a fine from the USBC following his Facebook post. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, I'm sure most of you are, but I'm going to go ahead and give you an update. Basically, at the USBC Masters, they were asking bowlers to bring their equipment in for voluntary testing. The USBC has a certain hardness. The ball has to be a certain amount of hardness. And the USBC was testing balls they said just for research purposes. And it was being done behind closed curtains. And Belmo said, I don't want my equipment tested without me seeing it. And the USBC said, well, no, you're not allowed to see your equipment be tested. So Belmo posted this on Facebook, and the very next day, 6 storm balls were banned from national competition. They weren't banned altogether by the USBC. They were only banned from national competition. So, begs the question, why? Why were they only banned from national competition? But anyways, that's what led up to this, right? So, Belmo made this post last week. He was handed a fine by the USBC. Let's go ahead and read this. He said, "This is a fine the USBC handed me during the Masters after I shared a picture of the curtains. When I said, how can I be fined for explaining exactly what was happening regarding the testing, right? Like, how can I get fined when I didn't, say anything that was, really bad about you? I just said that it was being done behind closed curtains, and I didn't like that." And the response that the USBC gave him was that he brought the USBC into bad light. So by making that post, he made the USBC look bad. So Belmo replied, "If what I'm sharing is exactly what is happening, if I didn't exaggerate or lie, and you feel that sharing it publicly is bringing USBC into bad light, then maybe what you're doing isn't right and you should change it." I think Belmo makes a pretty valid point here. If he didn't exaggerate the situation, if he didn't lie, all he did was post exactly what was happening so the normal everyday people could have knowledge of it. If just doing that was bringing the USBC into bad light, then maybe what they're doing is in fact bad. Otherwise, people wouldn't have a bad opinion about it. And then, of course, after this, the very next day, the Trend 2, a ball that he collaborated with Storm on, along with 5 other balls under the Storm Products umbrella, were announced to be banned from national competition. That's pretty interesting timing, is it not? That the day after he had this interaction and fine from the USBC, suddenly these balls were banned. And a heads up was given to Storm only 3 hours before the announcement. And Storm was provided no data and no explanation of their process to record this data. So basically, 3 hours before the USBC made the announcement, they basically tapped Storm on the shoulder and they were like, "Hey, Storm, by the way, we're banning 6 of your balls, and we're not going to tell you why. They just don't meet our requirements." Um, Obviously, since then, the USBC has posted some data, and you know, um, there's been a lot more news since then. But still, this situation just strikes me in a very, very strange way, especially because some of the bowling balls were really, really close to the 73D hardness, and they were still saying that, like, oh, well, 98% of we project that 98% of these bowling balls are probably not meeting the hardness level. It's like, okay, if you're that close. Now, I mean, I'm a finance major, so we do a lot of stats. I know that there are ways to create those progressions and stuff, but or projections. However, there are variances, and you also have to take into account that balls change depending on the situation, the heat, the humidity, the environment. I mean, they were bowling in Vegas. It's usually pretty warm in Vegas in comparison to majority of other areas in the United States. So but yeah, since then, Storm has discovered how the durometer test can be flawed. Storm did a YouTube video kind of going through how you test bowling balls for hardness. um And the test is not an exact science, and we should allow for variances. I do think that that's important. Um, this just all feels weird and something isn't right. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the fine real quick. I know some of you want to actually see the writing in this. So it says, Mr. Belmonte, this letter is in reference to your participation in the Masters. So you were in violation. See the Facebook post. And then it talks about his conduct. All bowlers must conduct themselves in a manner, and that includes on social media. So we're addressing you a fine of $250. If the fine is unpaid, you will become ineligible for USBC competition. You do have the right to appeal this decision, but I don't think Belmo actually did appeal it, or if he tried to, he wasn't able to get it appealed. I don't know. Maybe he just paid it because he was already in competition at the Masters and didn't want to risk not being able to compete. But anyways, yeah, so $250, it's not much to Belmo, but it's more about the message that USBC sends by doing this. It really feels to me that USBC is taking that step to say, like, we govern the entirety of bowling. You know, we are bowling. And I understand bowling balls need that USBC certification to be allowed to be thrown. Most leagues in the United States are USBC certified leagues, right? However, I just I just don't see why USBC would be taking such like drastic steps. I don't know. It just feels like they're overstepping their ground a little bit here, and especially in the manner that this happened, that Belmo had this interaction or altercation, even you could call it, with a USBC official, and then boom, the very next day, these balls were banned. It makes you wonder, like, if the testing was being done the day prior and they had that testing info done, then why would they wait a whole day of competition to then ban it the next day? Because that day of competition was the day that Belmo had this talk. Why not ban it after you test the balls instead of banning it after you have the altercation with Belmo? Now, maybe they wanted to run more tests and stuff. Yeah, I understand that. It's just very odd timing. And now it really sheds a new light on what Anthony Simonson said when he won the Masters, that he said they can't stop us. And you know, I think that I understand why he said that a lot more than previously before, because he, I'm sure all of the people on the Storm staff had some idea about this interaction with that Belmo had with the USBC, and they knew that maybe this played a role in just banning Storm's bowling balls, because maybe just the USBC director just thought he wanted to stick it to Storm. And also, Sean Rash made comments at the start of the year, which got him suspended from one major or one tournament. I don't know if it was a major. And he's a 900 global bowler, which means Storm Products owns 900 global, so he's technically on Storm staff. So you have two instances of Sean Rash and Belmo, who conveniently have had their own issues, but that's well in the past now at this point. Where they've both just had issues with the USBC, and I I'm truly blown away by this. For the sport of bowling, this is really a major problem where we need to know, is the USBC going to be the main governing body of bowling? Are they going to be the ones who who create all the rules from now on, and who are basically the bar for bowling? They are the ones who govern everything, which it seems like they are taking the step in that direction, as to we are the force, we are the enforcement, I guess, of these rules of bowling. But yeah, I would really love to hear your guys' take on this, because oh, man, it absolutely blows my mind that something like this would happen. Especially because the hardness tests are not an exact science. There is variances, and anybody who has taken statistics or knows at least a little bit about statistics knows that you have to account for those variances. And with only a sample size of, I think they took 24 bowling balls, how can you project that 99% of the balls will be out of range with only a sample of 24? And you're talking about hundreds of thousands of these bowling balls that have been sold. How can you project that 99% of these balls do not meet hardness when you only tested a sample size of 24? That just does not seem right to me. So, but yeah, this was I'm absolutely blown away trying to keep up with all of this, and I'll try to keep you guys updated if any more information happens. Please, if you made it this far into the video, leave a like and subscribe. I mean, we're on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and if just 10% of you subscribed, we would hit that mark literally today. So, yeah, but that's all we got for now until we get some more information about this. Who knows, maybe Belmo will be fine for making this post as well, because this sheds really bad light on USBC. So again, thank you all so much for watching. Videos like this and our channel really would not be possible without the support of everybody. So please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.